Hello, and welcome to Cosmic Cooking. It's been a while, I think. I don't even remember what the last one was, do you?
Fall is almost here. It's time to make the baked goods.
She doesn't know what she did. When was the last time we cooked? I can't remember. We did a few cooking lives.
We've done sauce and salsa.
Yeah, those were all lives. But anyway, so today we're here. We're trying to create an old school favorite with some new school ingredients. We're trying to create apple fritters a little bit more healthier. If there is such thing.
So, just so you're aware, there are paleo and there are keto recipes for apple fritters.
Yes.
However, this was a spur of the moment decision.
We didn't have all the ingredients
We do
on
not
hand.
have. We have a smidge of coconut flour, but not nearly enough. So
yeah. So we had to compensate with carb-friendly
purpose
flour. But we have the stevia sugar and other ingredients, which we'll go ahead and get right into. So first we're going to start off with the apples, the number one ingredient.
Which is 4.5 cups.
That is not measured out because we are soaking them in lemon juice, which helps them from the browning process that will inevitably happen. Now we're going to move over here and start listing off other ingredients.
So this, by the way, is ×3 for this recipe. So 3 cups of all-purpose flour,
Baking soda,
3/4 of a cup of coconut sugar or any sweetener of your choice, 4.5 teaspoons of baking powder, 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1 cup of milk, preferably fatty milk. You can even use a high-fat coconut milk to keep it really healthy, 3 eggs, and 3 teaspoons of vanilla.
beaver vanilla.
And if you want to be really naughty, you can also make a glaze with powdered sugar and milk at the end.
We don't need that though. These are going to be delicious.
We'll see.
Our first ingredient is 4.5 cups of diced apples. What you want to do is take that 1.5 teaspoons of your cinnamon, but this is the, if you remember, the apple cinnamon sugar spice that we dehydrated apple peels and added our stevia sugar to it to create this delicious fall. Yep, cinnamon, nutmeg. Was there something else? I think it was allspice, which I understand there's also cinnamon and nutmeg in that. But what we're going to do is saute this for about 2-3 minutes just to start the cooking process.
Meanwhile, while Chris is warming the apples, we're going to get these ingredients mixed up. So our wet ingredients are combined and I'm going to whisk them together. So this is the milk, the eggs, and the vanilla. And splashy I do. We did a ×3 the recipe. We probably, with the amount of apples we have, could have done like a ×12, but...
We'll find other recipes.
Okay, so now that that's mixed, here's the flour. We're adding in our stevia, our baking powder, and more of that apple pie, or yeah, apple cinnamon concoction that Chris created.
Out of apple peels.
Out of apple peels. So now we're gonna give that a mix. Just combining all of our dry ingredients. And then we're gonna add in our wet mixture. and mix. So you may get your basil. Is that what you said?
Now that our apples are cooked for a couple of minutes, we're going to go ahead, throw them right in there with our dough mix that has been completely incorporated as well. And I'm told that we need to fold this in. Fold it in. Like so.
So, fritters are not supposed to be perfect shapes.
They look like little plops of poop. Poop Troop, shout out. Wide Family Farm, 99 cents a month, and you can be a poop trooper. And by the way, you can learn how to possibly cook things like this in one of the lessons that'll be coming up in the near future.
Yes, there's lots of amazing classes going on right now. Sign up, be a member, 99 cents a month, $12 a year. Less than a Big Mac meal at McDonald's.
Alright, I'm sorry about the folding here, but it wasn't quite working. So we're going to get down and dirty.
So while Chris is getting down and dirty, I want to let you guys know there's two ways you can go about cooking these. You can fry them in oil, and you can do healthy oil like avocado oil. Or you can bake them, which is the route that we're going to go, because we're trying to keep it as healthy as an apple fritter can be.
Yes. Believe it or not, this is a healthier. We could have used sugar.
And more sugar.
And more sugar. But we're using stevia. And then we believe it's pretty good. It's helped us.
And organic, hand-picked apples.
Yeah, that too. Now that we got all cleaned up, the way that we prefer to do this is double wrap per se. And we're going to go ahead and go with a wax paper and Baker's Joy, which is a combination of oil and flour. Okay.
Baker's Joy.
Yes. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to grab a 2-ounce scoop and kind of do a little bit of a heaping scoop like so.
Massive.
Just like so. You want to set your oven to 350 degrees.
Make sure it is preheated before you put your fritters in the oven.
And there's a certain secret to this. If you want them to be crispy, and
you'll have to wait and stick around for the video to see that part.
Well, I'm going to show them right now. So, you have yourself some canola oil. Just give it a little spray on top. And that oil is just going to crisp the top of it. And let's see how these turn out.
Okay, now that it has been almost exactly 7 minutes.
What do you want to do? Just grab a pot holder before you open the door.
Yeah, don't touch the hot pan with your bare hand. Silly.
So what we want to do,
they're rising, that's a good sign,
is gently flip each of them over. You're no good at cameraing, man.
Sorry, trying to shut that off so we don't kill people.
So we're going to flip each of them over like so.
Are we going to spray them again?
Probably no, because it has the, we're going to give it a little bit of a mush, just to make sure. We're going to throw it back in for 5 more minutes. So our first batch come out, we learned a quick lesson. We're going to make them a little bit smaller. These took 22 minutes.
Yeah, so don't make them thick.
Don't make them giant like we usually do. So this next batch that's in the oven is a little bit smaller. So I'm going to break some of this off and give it to Gina. And what we have is, you know, the icing. Everything's better with icing, right?
So there's a
Yeah.
And yeah, definitely icing. It's low fat icing, I promise.
So, came out good, as you see, kind of. I don't know why the camera is not focusing, but we're going to dip it in the low fat icing.
As long as I'm milking it.
So, yeah.
You want to go with the icing?
It's not the best apple fritter I've ever had, obviously.
But it's also got no sugar except for the icing.
Yeah. So maybe we can call this a healthier version of them. It's definitely not sweet. It tastes good, right?
It's like fall.
Yeah. So, I guess that's it. We're going to continue to make these delicious things.
And stay tuned because there's going to be another apple recipe with our other apples that we have left over.
Coming up tonight, but later on for you all. So, that all being said, we have many other things coming too. It's going to be a cooking week. I hope you enjoyed this Cosmic Cooking episode. I'm going to go ahead and take a triple dip.
I'm trying to get your apple out of my icing.
We hope you enjoyed. Anything else to say? Yeah, icing all over you.
If you're a clean chef, you're not a good chef.
Those are really good. Now that I'm eating more.
We're trying to eat healthier. Obviously, an apple fritter is not the ideal diet food.
But these ones are at least better.
And you know what's going into it. There's no preservatives, no nasty stuff, and no sodium whatsoever.
No, sodium free on these.
So,
there you go.
you take the good with the bad and you try to run with it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Stay tuned.
We got more recipes coming. Peace, love, and
Peace.
happiness.